Hello, again it's a brand new day. So let's free us from the worries of yesterday, and certainly it's going to be a beautiful and better day. So wishing you all a beautiful and better day. So let's start with this hope. Yesterday we have discussed regarding the members of algae. We have discussed Phaeophyceae. In our first class we have discussed Chlorophyceae, and yesterday we have discussed regarding Phaeophyceae, its special features, the life cycle of laminaria and its examples. So today the third member of algae, that is Rhodophyceae. So today we will be discussing the third member of algae, that is Rhodophyceae. Let's see the members of Rhodophyceae. So they are Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gracilleria and Gelidium. So they are Polysiphonia. You can see here the image of Polysiphonia. Then we have Gracilleria here. You can see here the image of Gracilleria. Then we have Porphyra. You can see the Porphyra here. This is the image of Gracilleria, and we have Gelidium here. You can see here the Gelidium. So the examples of Rhodophyceae are Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gelidium and Gracilleria. So let's see the special features of Rhodophyceae. So discussing about the features of Rhodophyceae. So the first point here, red color is due to the predominance of R. phycoerythrin. So this red color, as we have seen in the images, the algae which belongs to Rhodophyceae are termed as red algae. Chlorophyceae we have seen green algae because of its green color, and Phaeophyceae brown in color because of its the pigment. Yesterday we have seen, and today here these algae are called as red algae. And what is the pigment? The pigment R. phycoerythrin. So due to the pigment R. phycoerythrin, this algae appears to be red. Clear? So the dominance of the R. phycoerythrin. They have other pigments also. They have chlorophyll A, as in the Chlorophyceae and in the Rhodophyceae. They have chlorophyll D, they have carotenoids and phycocyanin. Phycocyanin is the blue pigment. Blue pigment is also present, but the R. phycoerythrin is masking other pigments, as we have seen in the Phaeophyceae. So here the majority of red algae are marine. They are marine, they are aquatic, with greater concentrations found in the warmer areas. They are found in the warmer areas and they are marine. And they occur in both well-lighted region, close to the surface of water, and also at the great depths. They are found in the great depths, that means in the ocean. Hope it is clear to you. The special features of the Rhodophyceae, they are called as red algae because of the dominance of the pigment R. phycoerythrin. The dominance of the pigment R. phycoerythrin. They have other pigment also, as chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, carotenoids, and they have phycocyanin. The blue pigment is also present in this Rhodophyceae, but they appears to be red because of the pigment R. phycoerythrin. Please remember that. Please pay attention to this point, R. phycoerythrin, the red pigment that which is present in the Rhodophyceae. Then majority of the red algae are marine. They are aquatic. They are found in the warmer areas, and also we can see they are found in the great depths of the ocean. Clear? In Rhodophyceae, deep water plants will be having red pigments. So you can see here the deep water plants have more red pigments, while those in the intertidal may be reddish brown, yellowish or almost black. So those in the intertidal may be reddish brown, yellowish or maybe black. So one of the intertidal species named as Hypnea spicifera, one example, one of the intertidal species that is known as Hypnea spicifera. You can see here the image Hypnea spicifera. So it appears to be green algae, but the lower part will be of red. So you can see here the red color, but often this Hypnea specifera appears to be green color. So you can see here the green color. So the lowermost part will be of red color. Clear? So most of the red algae will be multicellular. So they are multicellular. Many of the Rhodophyceae, the red algae are multicellular. Many red algae are filamentous and it is called as Heterotrichus thallus. So many of them are filamentous and they are termed as Heterotrichus thallus. And here hetero means different, trichus means filament. So as I have told you, it is filamentous and it is termed as Heterotrichus filament. Hetero means different, trichus means filament or trichome. We can call it as trichome or filament. Heterotrichus means the presence of more than one type of filament. Hetero, as I have told you, different. Hetero means more than one type of filament. That's what the name has come, Heterotrichus. Okay, so once again, just we will revise, they are multicellular and they are filamentous. We call it as Heterotrichus thallus. Hetero means different, trichus means trichome, or we can call it as filament. Heterotrichus, different filaments. Okay, varieties of filaments, different, more than one type of filaments. So that's what it is termed as Heterotrichus filaments. So here the Heterotrichus thallus consists of two systems, prostrate system and erect branch upright system. So they have two systems. One is basal prostrate system and another one is erect branch upright system. So during the development it will be of creeping filament. Okay, so during the development of Polysiponia it will be of creeping filament and it functions as a hold fast. Yesterday we have seen about the hold fast, isn't it? Not root like, just acting as root like, okay, attached to the substrate. And these creeping systems of filament will further give rise to branched one. These creeping filaments will be further giving rise to a branched filaments. You can see here the image. Okay, earlier it was of just a creeping filament and afterwards it will become a branched filament. In red algae, Rhodophyceae, the food is stored in the form of Floridian starch. Okay, so the food is stored in the form of Floridian starch. And the grains of Floridian starch are found in the cytoplasm. So where this Floridian starch are found? It is found in the cytoplasm. So in the red algae, the food is stored in the form of Floridian starch and this Floridian is found in the form of cytoplasm. And reproduction in Rhodophyceae will take place through three methods. They are vegetative, asexual and sexual. So in Rhodophyceae, three types of methods, mainly vegetative, asexual and sexual. In vegetative method, fragmentation of thallus. Okay, by fragmentation of thallus, we have seen in the previous classes also how the fragmented thallus is developing into a new individual in this way. The fragmented thallus will be developing into a new individual. We have seen it. And asexual way, non-motile spores. So the complex host fertilization development will take place here. And in the sexual, oogamous, non-motile gametes. So oogamous type of reproduction. So mainly what we have discussed here is that Rhodophyceae store the food in the form of Floridian starch and this Floridian starch are found in cytoplasm. They reproduce in three methods, vegetative methods, asexual methods and sexual methods. Vegetative methods by the fragmentation of thallus and asexual method by non-motile spores. The complex host fertilization development will be taking place here and in the sexual oogamous type of reproduction. Now let us see the life cycle of Polysiponia. So now let's see the life cycle of Polysiponia. We will start with the tetrasporophyte thallus. We will start with tetrasporophyte thallus. Why it is called tetrasporophyte? Because it bears 4 tetraspores in each tetrasporangium. So in each tetrasporangium it bears 4 tetraspores. You can see here 4 tetraspores. So this 4 tetraspores will be giving rise to male gamete and female gametophyte. Okay, so this tetraspores will give rise to male gametophyte and female gametophyte. So male gametophyte bearing spermatangia will be containing the reproductive organ as spermatia. So spermatium is the singular form. And female gametophyte containing the sex organ as carpogonium. So the singular form is termed as carpogonium. So carpogonium is a flower shaped structure. You can see here. Trichogyne elongated net is present here. So you can see a flower shaped structure. A basal swollen region is there. And this spermatia are released into the water. With the help of water, this spermatia will travel to the carpogonium. So the male nucleus and the female nucleus will be fusing each other. But there will be many spermatia released in the water. Out of many spermatia, only one becomes successful. So the one, it will be traveling, the male nucleus will be traveling to the female nucleus, and as a result, fusion takes place. So as a result of fusion, a zygote is being formed. And during the fertilization, a cystocarp is being formed. Inside the cystocarp, a diploid carpospores are being formed. And this diploid carpospores will be developing into a sporophyte plant, a diploid tetrasporophyte plant, and thus the life cycle continues. So once again, I will tell you the life cycle of Polysiphonia. Just pay attention towards it. As in other life cycle, we have studied the same thing only, but only a little difference is there. So first we will start with the tetrasporophyte plant. As you can see here, the tetrasporophyte thallus you can see here. So each tetrasporophyte thallus will be producing tetrasporangium. Each tetrasporangium consists of 4 tetraspores. So they will be having 4 tetraspores. So these tetraspores grow into a male gametophyte. These tetraspores, some of the tetraspores will be growing into a male gametophyte and some of the tetraspores will be growing into the female gametophyte. Clear up to here? Then what happens? The male gametophyte contains the reproductive organs spermatangia. Okay, wherein spermatangia will produce a spermatia. Spermatium is the singular form. Spermatia is the male reproductive organ. Okay, then the female gametophyte will be having the reproductive organ termed as carpogonia. Carpogonium is the singular form. So carpogonium means it's a flower-like structure. You can see here a swollen part and a trichogyne is present here. You can see here. And this, out of many spermatia, only one will become successful. So it will be released into the water and it travel. This male nucleus will be traveling to the female nucleus here, and as a result here fusion takes place. When the fusion of male gamete and male nucleus and the female nucleus takes place, what is formed? A zygote is being developed, and after the fertilization, a cystocarp, you can see here the image of cystocarp. Cystocarp is being formed, and inside the cystocarp, diploid carpospores, you can see here the diploid carpospores here. The diploid carpospores are being formed, and this diploid carpospores will be giving rise to a diploid tetrasporophytic plant and diploid tetrasporophytic thallus we can call, and thus the life cycle continues. Did you understand? Now let us see the variety of uses of red algae. So the various uses of red algae. Agar, a jelly-like substance that which is obtained from the Gelidium. We have seen in the first example Gelidium. So it is agar is obtained from the Gelidium species, and Gracilaria, that also we have seen. They are used as thickening agent. So this agar, a jelly-like substance that which is extracted from Gelidium and Gracilaria, is used as a thickening agent. and it is used to grow in the industrial bacterial culture, as well as it is used as a thickening agent of ice creams, and it is used in cakes, and also in Indian cuisine it is used as in the form of China grass, and for the delicious pudding also we do use this. So another substance, carrageenans, they are extracted from the Chondrus crispus and are widely used in the industry for the thickening and stabilizing properties. They are used in the milk products as well as for the chocolate products. All these they are used, the carrageenans. So just now we have seen the agar, a thickening substance that is obtained from the Gracilaria and Gelidium. Just in the previous slide we have seen this to use as a thickening agent in the bacterial culture as well as ice cream for the delicious pudding. We use in the Indian cuisine, it is used as a China grass. And the second one is carrageenans. They are the extract of Chondrus crispus, and it is also used for the gelling, thickening and stabilizing properties. Mainly it is used in the milk products, okay, and in the chocolate milk. And have you heard about sushi? Sushi, you can see here the image of sushi. It's a Japanese food made of variety of ingredients. It is actually made up of rice, variety of seafoods, variety of vegetables, and with variety of ingredients they use to make sushi. This is a Japanese food. You can see here the image. So normally this sushi is being wrapped by a algae termed as nori. It's a sheet, algal sheet. It's made up of algae, and you can see here the image of nori. So this is nori. So with the help of nori, they wrap this sushi food. With the nori sheet only they are wrapping this delicious food. So the nori is the Japanese name for the edible seaweed species of red algae genus termed as Pyropia. So this is also obtained from algae. This is from Pyropia, nori sheet. Clear? So that's all about the three groups of algae. We have seen Chlorophyceae, we have seen Phaeophyceae, we have seen Rhodophyceae. So the green algae, the brown algae and the red algae. Its specific features and its example we have learnt. Now let's see the general properties, the general characteristics of algae. So what are the general characteristics of algae? They are chlorophyll bearing, simple, thalloid, autotrophic and mainly aquatic organisms. So the characteristics of algae we have already come across, just we are summarizing it, okay. They are chlorophyll bearing, they are simple, they are thalloid, thallus-like structure we have come across, autotrophic, they prepare their own food, and mainly aquatic organisms, okay, they live in the water as we have seen. And they occur in variety of other habitats like moist soil, like in the wood, okay, as we have seen. And also they form size and highly they are variable from the microscopic size from the Chlamydomonas to the giant kelps. We have seen the examples. And they reproduce by vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. We have seen that vegetative method by fragmentation, asexual method by different type of zoospores, mainly different type of spores, that is zoospores, and the sexual reproduction by the fusion of two gametes, that could be of isogamous, that could be of anisogamous, and that could be of oogamous type. So once again, just we will revise the general characteristic as I have told you, that is chlorophyll bearing, they are autotrophic, they are simple, they are thalloid and they are mainly aquatic. And they are able to, they are formed in a variety of habitats as I have told you, as we have seen in the earlier classes, in the previous classes, from the moist soil, and also they can be found in the wood, okay. And they form size and highly variable size, that means microscopic, we have seen microscopic Chlamydomonas to the giant kelps that which is forming in the underwater forest. And they reproduce by three methods that we have seen, vegetative, asexual and sexual. Vegetative by the fragmentation, asexual by the zoospores and sexual by the oogamous type. That can be of isogamous, that can be of anisogamous and that can be of oogamous type. And the general characteristics, other general characteristics are, they are useful to make variety of ways. Variety of ways they are used in the food, as we have seen in the case of sargassum, as in the case of porphyra, as in the case of laminaria. They are used as the food items. Carrageenans we have seen. At least a half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae through photosynthesis. So it is said that a half of the total carbon dioxide fixation is taking place due to the algae. They form basis of food cycles of all the aquatic animals. So all the aquatic animals consume must have food. And nearly 70 species of marine algae are used as food. As I have told you, sargassum, porphyra, we have seen laminaria, all these things are food items, which is used as a food items. And water holding substances like algae, we have seen in the 5-5-CA. Agar and carrageenans are commercially important. They are used as a thickening agents. We have seen just now the algae that is found in 5-5-CA brown algae, agar and carrageenan as a thickening agents. As I have told you, it will be used in the delicious pudding, to make cakes, to make ice creams, and all are of important commercial importance. So finally, there is a question for you. So the scientific study of algae is known as. So you can answer in the comment box. So one question for you. The scientific study of algae is known as dash. So you may find out and write the answer in your comment box. So that's all for today. So in other classes, we will see about the bryophytes. Till now, we have seen the 3 divisions of algae: 5-5-CA, Rhodophyceae, and 5-5-CA and Chlorophyceae. 3 specific features we have seen, and also examples we have seen. In the next class, we will see about the bryophytes. So stay blessed. Thank you so much.